you doing, everybody? My name is Thunder, and welcome to part 2 of Tokyo Xtreme Racer 2. In the last part, we had a pretty good 7:01 start, and we beat Rolling Guy right off the bat, which is pretty good for a first part. We're already getting an entire team down, which is excellent. Anyways, but of course, we still got a long way to go for this game. And of course, they call me Poor Baby now, for reasons I'm guessing. And even although I don't really need to, let's just be safe and put some power into this thing. And now we're up to 253 horsepower. And if I check this for the torque, I'm now up to 238. Now there's also these settings in the game which you can adjust over time. Now of course I don't have access to everything because just I don't exactly know what exactly are the best settings for this. I'll just put them up to +5. I'll probably look them up off screen if there is one. Any sort of guide to adjust those to get the best result out of your car. Who knows? Anyways, let's go back to the C1. I'm going to go up here actually for the inner, so the inner lasts at least a little bit longer. And here we go. Wow, we're directly on top of someone, like, like I have to actually stop my car a bit just so I can get up to them. And who do we have here? We have a Toyota MR2, or MRS as it would probably be known in Japan, a la mode, from Knife and Forks. This is a new crew. This is basically a new team in TXR2, because they were not in TXR1. But I guess you kind of knew that already. And as you can probably tell, I am going to kick its ass, especially since I now have a little bit more power, and because it's a new day, the car is running like new again. Now, they do also improve how a car performs in the later TXR games, to an extent. But, of course, I will get to that, hopefully, if I still remember, when I get to that game, because I do plan to do most of the TXR series, or at least of what I can do. And there we go, 675 CP now, because we just got a little over 500 for that guy. Alright. Again, not worrying about replay shots or anything, because I can just do that off screen with the easier setup in order to do thumbnails in this game, that's for sure. So there we go, we've got a Knife and Forks guy done right out of the gate. So let's hope that we can find some more Knife and Forks guys. And I don't believe that MRS that we just faced was in TXR1. I don't recall it being in the first game. Probably because it was introduced around the time TXR1 came out, so that's probably why. And then again, the R34 Skyline GTR was also introduced around the same time. I guess it was just enough time to get it out before the game was released. Who we got here? Oh, I can already tell this is not Knife and Forks. I recognize this car. It is the Snake from Little Gang. Little Gang being another new team in TXR2. And I'm trying to get some at least speed to not start exactly too far behind him. I think I actually outdid him a little. I'm just a tad bit ahead. Oh, there is a car coming. Though that could be a little beneficial in my favor because I have to turn right there, and that means turning into him a little bit because I'm a dick. And I didn't want to run into the back of the car because that would just slow me down. I mean, you probably understand where I was coming from with that one. I hope you do. Anyways, yeah, as you can see, just the little engine improvements has not just given this car a bit of a turbo whine, but has also not turbo whine, I think it's the turbo blow off, or when I basically unshift you hear. Oh wow, I got Satan amount of CP for that one, and a new car available because I did not have that vehicle available to me. But it's a C-class vehicle, so not gonna worry about that. Though to be saying, this game has a very interesting way of how certain people will show up. Certain rivals in certain circumstances will only show up on certain things. For example, some may never show up if you manage to completely clean sweep a team aim, but will show up if you lose to one of them. It's a very weird way it's set, and it's, you know, but it's creative too, because unlike TXR1, you don't actually have to beat every rival in this game to beat the game. You still have to beat, like, at least well over 200 of them, but not every one of them. The later games is a different story, but with the case of this one, let's not worry too much about that. Anyways, I'm just mostly taking it easy. I'm actually surprised how I've not hit the wall too many times in this LP. I had a feeling I'd be hitting it more. Probably it will happen inevitably with some higher end cars, but for now it doesn't seem to be the case. And we got here another R Gangs member. We have, so I can actually trigger this. Just wait. Actually, hang on. Gotta check with each one. Nope, this is not one of them. Okay. We have here Rev Freak in a completely black Toronto. And I think I may slow down a bit too much because I'm starting way far back, and now the game's trying to catch me up to initiate the sequence. There we go. Much better. Oh, thank you, game. Just put me right into the wall. I mean, I know there's a car there, but I could have at least gotten outside of the place and then swerved. Oh, boy. Also, there's a Civic there that I cannot face right now because, again, facing this guy. Thankfully, though, I am getting enough of a lead to be able to force him to come over to this side, even though he would want to take the right side. Again, I gotta be very cautious for that corner because you gotta make sure you really slow down enough, or else you're going right into the wall. Anyways, I don't know if I finished the story with it in the first part, but like I mentioned, they've been making tweets on their Twitter account, actually kind of like asking people, would there be any interest in a possible new Shutoko Battle, or TXR? Now, in 2011, Genki teamed up with, I think, mobile company Mobaj or something like that, I could be wrong, to create a Japanese-only Shutoko Battle game for mobile devices, which, thanks to screenshots that have been surfacing of it, was considerably different. It was definitely not the kind of game you would remember for people who grew up with the TXR games like I did. But yeah, that was the last thing ever Shutoko Battle related, and then nothing. But this past year, over the past couple of months, Genki's been making tweets about, should we make it? We want to hear if there's any interest in making a new TXR. And though they haven't confirmed that they're making a new one, or a new Shutoko Battle, Genki has extensively been making these tweets about these kind of contest things that they've been doing in their native Japan. With Tokyo Xtreme Racer 3, or Shutoko Battle 01. And they've basically been making these kind of tweets and just trying to see, you know, where if the people will come up for interest. And I think some people, I had a friend thinking that it probably wasn't going very well because the picture didn't show anyone, but the picture was taken before the actual event was underway, so. Also, by the way, here's a Mitsubishi Eclipse, which is not in the Japanese TXR2, at least to my knowledge. Hell, the Eclipse isn't even in the Japanese TXR1. The Eclipses were never in the TXR games for TXR1 and 2. I think it's because my guess is because the cars were never sold in Japan, so they left them out because maybe just so it wouldn't seem like such a weird oddball to appear for Japanese players. I don't know. It could have something to do with it, but who knows. And a new car available because huzzah! Because we beat the Eclipse, no problem at all. That was also, by the way, another little gang member. So we faced at least 3 different gangs in this one part, which is pretty cool. But I'm hoping that we can get more focus on. I was hoping for Knife and Forks, but now that we've faced 2 little gangs, and I actually recognize that Civic that we passed, I'm hoping for more little gangs, so we can get them done. Will it be done in this part? I don't know. But if it does, great. If it doesn't, oh well. Not a big deal. Anyways, who do we have coming up next? We have... Oh, hey, look at that. It's another Knife and Forks. It is Hothead. And I came in with such momentum that I was able to overtake him. And I just edged him out. How you like them apples? You and your bright green Toyota MRS car, whatever. Man, there's all these memories that just keep coming back to me. Just such good memories. I'd always try to do that as a kid. Just try to make sure I get all the momentum I can get, so that when I challenged them, I could just get ahead of them, and that paid off. And, you know, I like doing that because, you know, it gives you the best chance to block the car right at the start if they happen to have a faster car, which will happen. I guarantee that one. Oh, boy. And another 500 credits for 3,025 CP, which is alright. Just gotta wait here. Okay. And there's a bit of like a second you have to give it so you can actually move on. It's kind of weird, but whatever. I kind of miss how with the first TXR where it was just instant. But this is actually the only TXR game after TXR1 where the replay just kind of appears. And the later games, that you just press the button, you just press the replay if you want to see the replay. And I don't see any cars, so I don't want to end the part just yet. I want to at least get one more car in, because I've done, just counting in my head here, I've done at least 5 cars, and I did 7 in the last part. So since there's nothing appearing, let's do a quick jump cut. Right, hello again. It's time for another Knife and Forks with the technician, who's not going to be one of those people. Okay. Now, he's got a Honda Prelude, which was, I know for a fact, was not in TXR1. It's pretty interesting that, again, this is another interesting case of this car, because the Prelude is not in the, again, just like the Eclipse is not in the, oh, something must have happened, it's not in the Japanese version of the game, because I don't know. It's just not. At least I'm pretty sure the Prelude's not in the Japanese version. It's strange because I believe that Prelude actually was sold in Japan. At least I'm thinking it was. Again, I could be wrong for all I know, but eh. Regardless, despite that little whatever to start, I have gotten into the lead and pretty much have left him behind. Ha 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 ha, isn't this great? Just looking over my times for, it's about, recording this at like 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes the usual for me. And exactly 500 CP for that one, and a new car available because we did not have the Prelude before. I'm going to try to do what I can to make sure to get my CP up, because there definitely will be a car I'm going to want to buy later on in the game. And it's just a car that's worth it. So actually, you know, I'm going to stop here because I don't really feel like driving all the way up there for another car. I at least did 6 races and got me 2 new B-class cars and 1 new C-class car. No A-class cars yet because none of them appeared. But anyways, that's going to cover it for part 2. Hopefully in part 3, we can find the rest of the little gang or Knife and Forks members and take them down one by one. But anyways, guys, until then, thank you for watching, and as always, take care.